So we'll start with the first question, which is from Rhea Swift. Said, if you have a full body of work, but have not been good at marketing them, the cup runneth over type of thing, and you think you could start big, how does one start to get their name out under that umbrella? So Rhea, if you'd be willing to unmute yourself, if you could just tell us a bit more about the situation. I'm not saying, I'm not sure I'm getting at this. You've like a lifetime of work is what it sounds like. You've got a lot to offer. I'm not sure what you mean by you could start big. And I don't know what you mean by that umbrella.
I heard you talk yesterday on a video to a storyteller, and you said part of the way through it, you said you could start big. I mean, you could do that. You could just start big. And I thought that was my original intent. I have so much work. I've been doing it 35 years. So, but I'm not known on social media. Not enough people know me. I have a following, you know, I have my crew peppered across the country, some people in other countries, but I don't know that it would be a big bang and bring in what I would want to bring in. Like, I don't know if it makes sense to start big, or I have to get my name out. And that's what I meant by that umbrella is all this work, but my name's not out there. So how do you do that? What's the steps?
Yeah, well, let's just hone this. When you say, how do you do that? What's the thing? What's the that?
That to get your name out there.
And what's the connection between getting the name out there and the huge body of work?
Well, I want to make more money, right? I want the work to be known. It's intense. It's different. I know everybody says that, but I don't know that it's an easily understood body of work. It could be very esoteric. It goes from basic healing arts stuff to very advanced light work, biomagnetism. There's a lot. So I don't know how much you want to know, but through the years, this is my thing. This is what I'm trying to give to people. People often think there's one therapy. It's going to do everything. It's not. I've been doing this for such a long time that there's not one therapy that does everything. So I sort of figured out, okay, if you do this, you're going to get that, but you also need this. And then after you do that, you might want something else. And people will say to me, how long do I come to? And I said, well, how free do you want to be? And, you know, it all depends. So it's a lot, and it ends up becoming, and I don't like using this word, but I don't know how else to say it, very spirited based. So you end up getting to a place where you're teaching people how to hear their own guidance, how to develop and find their own healing ability for themselves and for other, whether they have something or they don't. So it really stretched. I mean, it's 35 years of constant focus, and developing that. So it's pretty rich.
Do you have a sense of a niche in terms of who you most want to work with at this point?
Probably older women. I think you have had to have lived life somewhat in order to want to get to that level. I don't think it's for, and please don't, no affront to anyone, it's not for people who just want to do Reiki. It's way deeper. It's much more than that. It's about eventually healing yourself enough so that you have space and room to hear a higher level of consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's where the guidance comes in. And, you know, I'm constantly developing new work from that space. So that's the end result of it.
Okay, I got it. So there are a few thoughts. One is, there's a variety of ways to go. There's some more clarity that's needed on the niche, I would just say, at some level. Like,
we have a puttering session set up.
Oh shoot, sorry, I accidentally muted you. People keep coming in. I'm trying to mute people because I thought this was set up to mute people. So there we go. So there's a few places I would look at. First of all, there's the puttering prep package, which you probably got since you booked the puttering session. I would dig into that fairly robustly. And because when we're looking at niching, we're looking specifically at how do you we're looking at mostly the issue we're trying to help people with. So that's one of the places, just for everyone, one of the places that if we're going to really hone, we hone on the issue we help people with. And of course, our work can probably help people with a lot of different issues. And it's good to really reflect on past clients and say, number one, is there a through line of a kind of core issue I'm helping people with, a core symptom? Are there some symptoms I most love to help people with? There's that. So that's something really worth for most of us looking at. Because to step back, you're gonna, it's a lucky thing if you get known for anything at all. If anyone even knows you exist, this is a miracle. But you're only ever going to get known for one thing. Yeah. The example I give often is you're at a party and you hear people talking about you behind your back, and they don't know you're there, but they're talking about you. Of course, you don't, you just listen in. And they say, "Oh yeah, what does Ria do?" And the other one says, "Oh, this." Now, there's certain answers they could give where you would just feel so depressed. You'd leave the party like, "Oh no, is that my reputation?" You know, somebody says, "Yeah, she does some Reiki or something." Like, no, that's not what I do. But there's other answers that if they gave you, say, "Yes, that's exactly it." So what's the thing we want them to say? Because there's going to be one thing we're known for. And the question becomes, what's that one thing that you want to be known for? For most service providers, that will be the who. You know, who are you working with? Oh, this person really helps people with this issue specifically, helps them get this result. That's one of the easiest ones. Now, there are some exceptions to this. One of those being you can be known for your point of view. You can be known for the boat. You can be known for the bigger why, a few things. So being known for the boat is, oh, yeah, she's the lady in town that teaches nonviolent communication because nobody else does it. That's great. That may be all you need if people are interested in it. Or it could be, oh, yeah, she's got this really interesting take on healing. So there's a sort of general who it's for, but there's a specific point of view. And of course, it's like a Venn diagram of the overlap of what is it that's unique about these things. But I would just say that's something to dig into, because otherwise what we're left with is, I'm a really good healer, trust me, which isn't going to land, isn't going to work very well. And it can also be worthwhile reaching out to past clients and say, I'm really in this place where I'm ready to step out and do something big. And I realize if I'm lucky, I'll get to be known for one thing. And I'm like, what is that one thing? When you describe my work to other people, what do you say? Like, what do you know me for? What would you say at a party if somebody says, what does Rita do? So that can just be helpful because you just get some feedback. And then you want to sit with them. It's like, okay, are those the things? Because you may get things back and it's like, oh no, none of that's what I want to be known for. But really honing that. And again, I would invite everyone to really consider this. This is a worthwhile meditation. What's the one thing I want to be known for? I can't get to be known for everything. So what's the one thing? And then all the marketing is around that. To simplify it, there's the old journalistic saw, who, what, where, when, why, and how. And it's worth really sitting down and saying, okay, what is unique about who I want to work with? Because you don't want to work with everybody if you're honest with yourself. That's not true. So, as Ria said, well, older women. Yeah, okay, then number two, is there anything unique about what I do? Well, yeah, I have this modality nobody else does, at least in my area. Number three, is there anything unique about how I do what I do? So that can be very logistical. That can be, yeah, I do it we do day-long sessions. I don't do hour-long sessions, or I do everything in a 15-minute session. It could be that. Like how I do it. Oh, I do it, but we're always outdoors while we're doing it, or whatever that might be. The how, the approach, the style. And of course, your point of view fits in the how. And then there's the where do you do it? And when do you do it? Why do you do all these things play a role? So it's worth each of those meditating on it. What's unique about that? And then because the steps of how do you launch yourself, well, you want to get your name out there, but although I would tweak it a little bit. I think this is one of the big misdirections in marketing, is getting our name out there. Because really what we want is
Want
to
the
get
work to get out there.
I would say this differently. I would say we want to get not our name out there, but their names in here, meaning building our own list. Because I'll give an example. You go to a networking event, and you have 100 business cards, 50 in one pocket, 50 in the other. And you get home, you say to your housemate, can you believe it? I had 100 business cards at the beginning of this night. I got none. This pocket's empty, that pocket empty. I gave them all out. I really got my name out there. And then I'll just wait for them to call. And of course, they never do, because what happens is this: we give out our business card, and the subterranean text of that conversation and interaction is, hey, here's my business card. Could you throw that out for me? Thank you so much. Which is what happens almost all the time. So you got your name out there, but what's much more effective in a networking context is, as you're talking to people, when you feel like there might be a fit, you say, hey, do you have a card? And you get their card. You don't need to give out any card. I mean, it's helpful, why not? But that's not the thing. The thing is, if you get their card, now you can take the next step and send them an email and, get the conversation going, rather than hoping and waiting. And neither hoping or waiting are great business strategies. So people think, oh, if I could just get in the press, get in the media, I'd get clients. And that's not necessarily true. I've seen tons of examples. People get in the paper and 0 new clients. So that's the goal to me, is we get our ideal clients, but we get their name in here, meaning we have them reach out to us, or we get their contact info and we start to build connections with them. It's a Facebook group they can join, an email list they can join. They start following us on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever it is. And we start to build those connections. That's, I'm not too precious about the language, but it's just good to remember, like, the broadcasting of ourselves and our message is not necessarily going to do anything, versus building a following could do something. So I'll give one practical step you could do. And again, I would say all of this will be made orders of magnitude more powerful by the clarity in the niche. But you send out the friends and family email to your past clients, your colleagues, and you say, look, I'm wanting to grow my business in the following ways. And so if here's the offer I'd like to promote, or here's the thing, and I've pre-written a Facebook post for you. There's a little Instagram post too, whatever. Would you be willing to share this and tag some people you know? That's just a real simple move. And I'm doing a launch. I've got a few free calls, whatever, but you make it very easy for them to spread the word. They shouldn't have to type anything on their own, though a lot of them will edit it, but you cut and paste, share, tag some people. That's just a very simple way to start spreading the word within networks. But again, it's much better if it's, hey, I'm doing a free call. Come, here's some text about it. Could you spread the word to some people people come. And then if you do it through, let's say, Eventbrite or something, well, then they have to register with their email, which is helpful also, because sometimes you get sick and have to cancel it. Nice to be able to let people know. But then you have the emails, and you can invite them to join your email, etc. There's just a lot more you can do with that, rather than, well, my name is out there. Who's seeing it? I have no idea. To be a bit more in control. So hopefully that's helpful. And I'm looking forward to our puttering session coming up.